God bless everybody. It is May 2nd, 2024. This is a huge article. This is probably one of the biggest articles I've had to report on all year long, and that is Turkey is getting ready to enter this war, and they have just parlayed a huge area of Iraq that they can just go in and occupy. Okay, this is not just anything. They literally have the ability to go into Iraq and occupy against the Kurds. Okay, so like I've been talking about, Erdogan has been going out to all these countries all over the region, Africa and everywhere in the Middle East area, and parlaying all these different agreements so that he can gain footholds into these areas. Now, this agreement is to deal with the PKK, or the Kurds. So that ought to ring bells, because this means that Daniel 8 is getting ready to start. So this mainly has to deal with water rights and how Turkey's going to help Iraq get water rights for the ability to occupy its land in Iraq itself. And so this Iraq-Turkey deal allows Turkey to militarily enter about approximately 190 by 25 mile area radius within the Iraqi territory, according to the KCK spokesman and other Iraqi sources. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just play this, and we're just going to walk down through this, and then I'll go into a little detail at the end. This is extremely important because now Turkey's getting ready to enter, and if you go into my paradigm, which I'll do first, I'll show you where we are in time. So in the last week and a half, I've been redoing my charts. I want to make sure everything's proper, all my dates line up, everything's right. So I have gone through and adjusted all of the PDFs down here in my charts. Okay, so just realize these have all been updated. They're as accurate as I can make them, up to the point I found all my mistakes and things like that, typos, different things like that, so that the charts are as accurate as possible. If you go to endofdayssurvival.com, you can see the charts. If you click on this chart here, this is the one we're going to be looking at real quick today. When you click on that PDF, it's going to bring up this chart. The chart really hasn't changed that much from the last video that I did. I've just gone through and make sure that all of the everything's in the right place. All the dates are there. The parable of the fig tree and the paradigm of the three modern day king charts are lining up, and they are making a lot of sense here. So look where we are here today. We're in this area right here where those three question marks are, and I'm going to bring this up so you can see exactly where we are. Okay, now I've been talking about how this is a real-time chart. Okay, this is actually happening in real time. We're working into this chart. Okay, we are here right now. We just went through Passover. Okay, we're into May 2nd right now. I had indicated on the chart that I just put out, I'm getting ready to make a video about this paradigm again, and I'm going to do an update on all this that I've done out here. But I had indicated that Daniel 8 would start here. I just had put this together. Daniel 8 would start, and the date Turkey invades Syria and Iraq against the Kurds and the Medes would be in May of 2024, which we're getting ready to see here, okay? And then probably you're going to see some kind of follow-up of Hezbollah, because they're starting a front. But look, Israel and Hezbollah fronts are really starting to ramp up, okay? So they're going to get ready to come into this, and we potentially will still see Iran do a second retaliatory strike against Israel, hitting them inside their country. That hasn't really happened, and so that's been a little bit quelled down here lately. So just realize there's a lot going on out here. But on the chart, as we've been walking through here, and as you can go down here, you can start to see we're walking into some other events in the fall. Especially, it's going to affect Egypt, down around Palestine and different things like that. Now, I've talked about how I don't want to get too deep into this chart yet because I'm going to do a video on it, but we've got this Daniel 8 starting with Turkey in May, and then I talked about Hezbollah, how I believe they're going to invade and come into this between May and June because Turkey's getting ready to come into Syria. They're going to head down towards Tyre, Lebanon, and in the same breath, we're going to see Iran being affected and literally it's striking against Israel, as well as Egypt's going to start being affected, okay, because they're under judgment also. So you've got now Turkey getting ready to enter the conflict in May. I've talked about how he's going to get to Tyre, Lebanon, based on history, based on the charting I've shown you, especially that last video that I just did, which went over the path of how Erdogan is going to basically take over the Middle East. I believe I did this, 9 days ago, where I indicated that Turkey would come down into Syria. Now, this hasn't happened, but what he's doing is, look at that. He's getting ready to force those Kurds into this position here in Iraq, okay? And he's going to start moving all these forces east, okay, because he's going to be pounding the northern front of Syria and Iraq with artillery and stuff as he's getting ready to go down into Syria towards Tyre. So I just did this video about this, talked about how this was going to happen. These are my predictions for the next year between April of 2024 and April of 2025, and how all these things are going to start to impact you, and how this will change fuel prices, because this will force prices to go up. If Turkey comes in this in a big way like he's going to do, this is going to be a game changer on the global economy, on fuel and prices at the pump and things like that. So this is talking about your hyperinflation, but yet you have stagflation of jobs and things like that, and global economies, but yet you have deflation because some people can't buy things or care to buy things like properties, cars, and things like that while they're trying to feed themselves and keep up with the general bills. So I'm going to play this video. It's about 7 minutes long. It's just easier for it to go through it, and you can listen to what it's saying, and then we'll discuss it at the very end, unless I see something out here that I really want to bring up to your attention. So I'm going to go ahead and start this video up. This is probably one of the most important videos I've done, guys. When Turkey comes in, this is a game changer, and this is going to change the whole Middle East, and it's getting ready to happen at any time, okay? Any day he's getting ready to walk into here, okay? And by July, he'll be down around Tyre, Lebanon. And then by October, he'll be down around Gaza. So if that gives you any indication how this is going to change in the next few months, that should. So let's go into this real quick, and I'll show you what is happening here.
Iraq-Turkey deal reveals extent of military intervention. The Iraq-Turkey deal allows Turkey to militarily enter a 300 kilometers by 40 kilometers area within Iraqi territory, according to a KCK spokesperson and other Iraqi sources. The Iraqi authorities have officially approved the incursion of Turkish forces into their territory, signaling significant concessions to Turkey regarding Iraq's sovereignty and territorial integrity. A spokesperson for the Kurdistan Communities Union (KCK), an umbrella political organization for the Kurdistan Workers Party (PKK), exclusively told the New Arab in their first reaction to the recent security deals signed between Baghdad and Ankara. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan visited Baghdad on April 22, marking his first state visit to Iraq since 2011. During the visit, both countries signed a joint security agreement allowing Turkey to conduct military operations against the PKK deep within Iraqi territory. In return, Iraq will receive increased water flow from Turkey. The deal is an attempt by the fascist Turkish state under dictator Erdogan to get the Iraqi authorities in line with the genocidal policies of the Turkish state against the Kurds. The media fuss about the deal serves to conceal the very truth of it. The Iraqi authorities have formally approved the invasion of their land by the Turkish state. That is, they have made serious concessions to Turkey as to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Iraq, Zagris Hiwa, spokesperson for KCK's foreign relations told TNA during an interview via email. This deal equals to the invasion of Cyprus and the annexation of Syria's Iskenderun province to Turkey. The essence of the deal is to leave large swathes of Iraqi and Kurdish territory, as large as a country like Lebanon, to the Turkish invasion, he added. The spokesperson also confirmed news reports that, as per the deal, Baghdad had green-lighted Ankara to launch further military aggressions inside the Iraqi territories. The essence of the deal is to leave large swathes of Iraqi and Kurdish territory as large as a country like Lebanon, to the Turkish invasion, Hiwa outlined. According to this deal, Turkey would have the right to invade an area of 300 kilometers long and 40 kilometers wide inside the Iraqi territory. Turkey has built more than 100 military bases in Iraqi Kurdistan. Hiwa also said that the primary goal of Turkey is to realize Erdogan's publicly stated neo-Ottoman ambitions, namely the annexation of the Ottoman-era Mosul province, indicating that the deal marks a significant step toward achieving this ambition. Meanwhile, 3 Iraqi sources in Baghdad and Erbil, speaking to Al Arabi Al Jadid, TNA's Arabic sister website, mentioned that Erdogan returned to Ankara with Iraqi authorization to launch a military operation against the PKK militants inside Iraq within areas where they exist in the mountains of Gara, Kandil, Sidikan, Saran, Sid Sadiq, Khani Mazi, Zab and Zarko, and Amedi. The Iraqi authorization specifies that operations should be within uninhabited areas controlled by the party or areas where the party controls and prevents the entry of Kurdish Peshmerga forces or Iraqi army forces. Under this new agreement, Iraq will receive priority in its share of water from the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Turkey will also assist Iraq in introducing modern irrigation techniques and optimizing water use in agriculture. According to Hiwa, the Kurdistan Democratic Party KDP, the main ruling party in the Kurdistan Regional Government KRG and runs the foreign ministry in the Iraqi federal government, is behind the deal. The KDP, which has betrayed the Kurdish cause to win Erdogan's favor, has encouraged, persuaded, and blackmailed the Iraqi authorities to do the same, the spokesperson claimed. The Iraqi foreign ministry, currently headed by Fuad Hussein, a key member of the KDP, has often condemned Turkey's breach of Iraq's sovereignty and the killing of Iraqi civilians via drone attacks. However, the Iraqi federal government has yet to raise the matter with international bodies such as the UN Security Council. Iraq's National Security Council has designated the PKK as a banned party within Iraq. Iraqi officials have recently said that Iraq's security forces will not engage in fighting the PKK fighters, based in the rigid mountainous areas across Iraq's borders with Turkey and Iran. However, they acknowledged that Iraq might share intelligence with Turkey. Answering questions of whether he thinks Iraq's security forces or the KRG Peshmerga forces would be deployed to fight against the PKK, Hiwa said that the Iraqi authorities are best positioned to address this question. From our viewpoint, these operations are a part of the genocidal policies of the Turkish state against the Kurds, and we are determined to defend our people, he added. Regarding claims of negotiations between the KCK and the Turkish government, Hiwa dismissed such allegations and noted that had negotiations indeed been ongoing, Turkey would not have mobilized all its military, diplomatic, political, economic and intelligence resources to conduct an invasion operation in Iraqi Kurdistan. A Turkish source stated to Al Arabi Al Jadid that military operations against the PKK in Iraq were not authorized during Erdogan's visit. Instead, Turkey aims to coordinate with Iraq for operations against the group through joint committees, focusing on securing the border with Syria and preventing the PKK from supporting the Kurdish-held Syrian Democratic Forces SDF, deemed by Turkey as an offshoot of the PKK. The PKK, a Kurdish guerrilla force struggling for autonomy in Turkey, was formed in the late 1970s by Öcalan. The PKK, described by Turkey, the United States, and the EU as a terrorist organization, has launched an armed war against the Turkish army since 1984. Since April of 2022, the Turkish army has launched a cross-border incursion dubbed Operation Claw Lock into northern Iraqi Kurdistan to fight PKK guerrillas. Many have been killed from both sides, and hundreds of Kurdish villages were forced to evacuate their homes due to the ferocious fighting. Ali al-Bandawi, a member of Iraq's Parliament's Security and Defense Committee, stated that the agreements with Turkey are executable, stressing it emphasizes disarming any terrorist and insurgent groups in northern Iraq and preventing them from launching attacks from Iraqi territories against Turkey, as well as to stopping Turkish airstrikes on Iraq, which violate its sovereignty and national security. However, Ali al-Fatlawi, a member of the Fatah Alliance, which is part of the ruling Shiite coordination framework, affirmed that the Popular Mobilization Forces PM.
So there's a lot going on here, guys, and this is going to accelerate the Middle East and what's going on there. This is Daniel 8, and as the Kurds get shoved towards Iran, towards Persia, they will align, as I've shown you in the maps. It's going to happen just as it happened in the past. It's going to happen in the future. There's just so much happening here, and Erdogan has been going down and doing these meetings with these countries for some time so that he could gain his foothold on them, get a stranglehold on them, and put these people in a position to where they have to, you know, negotiate for water rights to keep their countries viable and things like that. This is a pretty harsh reality that we're in. But yes, we've got basically a 186 by 25 mile zone that Erdogan's going to be able to work into, the size of, he said, Lebanon. That's a huge area. We're talking about the northern portion of Iraq, and then, like I say, he's still in Syria too. This is not something that Syria is not getting away from this. It's just that Syria does not like Turkey, and Turkey does not like Assad. And so that's going to probably be more like a war confrontation as he gets ready to invade and come down into Tyre, Lebanon, because his main objective right now, as I've shown you in articles that I posted out here, is that his main objective is right now to protect the Palestinian people. So this initial strike into the Kurds isn't going to go away in the next few months. It's going to keep popping up its ugly head until about the end of this year when Iran falls, and then we go back against Israel approximately around March of next year. So between January and March of 25, you're going to see a siege on Jerusalem and how that's going to affect us. And I've shown you in the charts where that all plays out. Just realize this is mainly a Daniel 8 effect here. This is mainly affecting the Kurds. This is mainly affecting everything in Iraq, but we're also going to see a front accelerate in Syria also. This was sort of neat that you could go through and see some of the history also. I also talked about how on my chart Erdogan invaded on Yom Kippur in 2019 on October 9th, and there are articles about that also. But then they ramped up another operation called Claw Lock in 2022, and that they've been doing this basically to the Kurds since 1984. That should tell you something, as Erdogan's condemning Israel for genociding the Palestinians, as he's getting ready to go down and genocide the Kurds, as well as he's genociding the Armenians up north. So I don't know how that works in the international communities, but we can basically genocide who we want while we complain about somebody else genociding someone else. Crazy world we live in, guys, but just realize this is extremely important. This man is getting ready to take over the Middle East, and you need to get your oil in your lamp, because this is going to happen any day. God bless. Have a great night.